Hey everybody, Logan here, and today I'm bringing you, another collection video. And I bet you're wondering, why two in a row? And not just because of the poll I put up, because the last video, my PS5 collection video, had me thinking. Had me looking at some of my other games and going, wow, I've got a number of interesting Japanese import PlayStation games. And it's the console that I have the most, I shouldn't say the console brand that I have the most interesting imports. I do have Famicom imports, I have Super Famicom, I have Nintendo 64, I think I'm going to do Nintendo next. Because I have a number of Japanese imports for Nintendo as well. But the Sony ones have been a little interesting. Now I have imports from every console, including PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4, PSP, and PS Vita. The only problem is I don't have any for PS5 yet. And if you guys have seen the last video, you know that. So I decided to gather up a number of them. And here we go. These are the Japanese ones. And we're going to go over each one. If I can find any footage for these, because I don't have a way to capture PS2 or PS3 footage of these Japanese games, I'll see what I can do. I'll splice them in just like I did in the PS5 collection. But let me stop rambling on and let me show you all these awesome imports.
Welcome to Red Bandana Gaming, the channel where Logan will show you everything from gameplay to gear. Their crew is here to take you on a journey through every atmosphere. Releases to news, you don't have to choose. Red Bandana Gaming is here for you.
Okie dokie. So we're going to start by looking at I guess we'll start at the beginning, at the PS1. We're doing this a little differently because I think it's a little easier to show the boxes and you guys might be able to see the differences and stuff like that just by looking at the cases. Like I said, a lot of these, I don't even know what they are. I don't know if I can find footage. I don't have a way to capture a lot of these just because I don't have the consoles or consoles that can play it and capture it. I'll see what I can do. But we're going to start out with Final Fantasy VIII. Final Fantasy VIII is my favorite Final Fantasy. I have my original copy, and this is the Japanese release. As you can see, it still has the manuals. Theirs are slightly bit different than ours. Actually, a lot of bit different. So we're not going to compare them to the US versions because most of these I don't have US versions to compare to. This I do, but the discs are very different. Booklets, I think that's pretty cool. So, whoops, slightly bit different. Final Fantasy VIII. Final Fantasy VIII. Next one looks very similar to the US one, and that's Bushido Blade. Bushido Blade is a combat fighting game that uses swords. And it's one-hit kills, stuff like that, depending on how you play. It's a really cool game. I find it weird that a lot of Japanese games varied when it came to screenshots on the back. I've seen a few that just didn't have any. I've seen it on Saturn games too. But this is Bushido Blade, and I have done a video covering this way back in the day. So, next, that's all I have for PS1. Next is PS2. This one was a recent pickup at MegaCon this year, and this is a Kamen Rider game. So, if you guys are familiar with Kamen Rider, it did come out here in the States as Masked Rider in the 90s, and then later Kamen Rider Dragon Knights, with different versions. This one reminded me a lot of the US one, the US Masked Rider. I picked it up just because I get these very cheap at where I was picking these games up. At MegaCon, you might have seen it in the video, and I really thought it would be cool to have a Masked Rider game, or, well, Kamen Rider translates into Masked Rider. in US, but that's pretty cool. And unfortunately, I wish I had a way to play these. I don't have any way to play PS2 PAL, which I do have a PAL game, which is Masters of the Universe, or Japanese PlayStation 2 games. So this may never get played. Sad. Next are my PS3. PS3 games, I bought a number of them from PlayAsia. I think everyone here I bought is from PlayAsia. We're going to start with, this is Gundam. The only thing I can read on the case is Extreme Versus. And it's from their PlayStation 3 The Best line, which is their greatest hits. That's what it looks like. So it is a fighting game, a combat game, and I bought this because it was like $2. I think it was $2, so I bought that one. Next one, you're going to see a theme, is another Kamen Rider game. Yeah, Kamen Rider Bat Tried War. Don't know if you can see it. Bat Tried War. It looked like a Dynasty Warrior style game. So I just picked it up because, again, Kamen Rider. I like the tokusatsu kind of games, whether it's the Power Rangers, that's the Sentai, or the Kamen Rider, stuff like that. I've always been into those kind since I got into Power Rangers as a kid, as a youth. So I decided to pick this one up. A lot of these I get on sale from, like I said, all of these were on sale on PlayAsia. And I did a video covering these games quite some time ago, and there's a chance you might have seen it. Now this one is Metal Gear Rising Revengeance Special Edition. Never opened because I do have a digital English version of it. So I bought this one just because I'm a huge Metal Gear fan, and I decided to keep this one sealed, and I just wanted it, so that's why I bought that one. Next one, I have no clue what this is, and it is that. Again, covered it in the video that I did with the PlayAsia. Some of these things, when I looked them up, I was like, oh, that's not family friendly. So I don't want to be demonetized, so I don't think I can show any of the footage from this one. The only thing I can get out of it is more communication with Sonico. Don't know what that was. Again, this was a game that was on sale for just a couple bucks, and I was like, I've never heard of it. Add to cart. And I'm sure you can see there was a couple of reasons why. Next one is that. I think this was, I can't remember. It's still sealed. Wow. I can't remember what this was. Pride of Justice 3, but it was in one of the series that I actually buy, but it was a giant mech game, and I was like, oh, I like mechs, but I cannot remember. I cannot remember the series it's in. If you guys can remember, or maybe I'll drop it in post after I can look it up. Why can I not remember this? Wow. And I know I have other Japanese versions of the game on the Switch that came out later. I just don't remember. I can't remember the name. Oh, wow. I'll throw it in or something, or if you guys remember, drop it in the comments if I can't seem to remember. There you go. So again, sealed, because I think it's an RPG, JRPG. Can we see that? Can we see that? Okay. All right. So that's PS1, PS2, PS3. Now we are going to go to PS4. PS4, yeah, you're gonna notice a theme here, and so be it. Next is this game. I don't know what this is. Another one that was on sale, and I didn't know what it was. And then Lich told me what type of game this is. I'm not even sure. Okay. So it was like, I think it was like $10 bucks, something like that. It was super cheap. It was on sale. and I was like, add to cart. And I was just buying import games, and I have no clue what I was buying. So still can't play it. I've tried to boot it up, and everything's in Japanese, so I went, oh, of course it is. Next one is from the Senran Kagura series, Estival Versus, which is, I have the collector's edition for the US, and that I can't show because of yeah, we'll just pass on that one because I can't show any more of that. YouTube. This is one. Now this one I got at a GameStop because someone traded it in, because there is a US version, but they traded it in, GameStop took it and sold it as the US version. It is a tactics-based RPG, if I'm not mistaken, or turn-based. Not 100% sure. Again, the Japanese games I don't really play. It's more of a collector's piece. If I can play them, I pop them in. But I got this for like, I want to say it was when one of the GameStops was closing, and I got it for like 80% off. So this game came to like $3 or $4. Next one is, I have the US versions of these, tongue-in-cheek hack and slash horror. Yeah. And that is the, it's pronounced a little different here. It's actually said, I think that's Oni Chambara, where in the US it's, some say One Chanbara, some say Oni Chanbara, depends. But this is the Japanese version. It is very gory, very over the top. Yeah. And I think there's a reversible cover too. Some of them have them, some of them don't. This is another one that, if I'm not mistaken, the US, we got an edited version. This is an unedited version, but I have not played it. I have played the US version. Next one is, it's in the Dead or Alive series, and I'm sure you guys can figure that one out. The original came out on Xbox and Xbox 360, and that is Dead or Alive Extreme 3 Fortune. Now I also have the other one that came out on the Switch, and this is the volleyball? Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball. So this was the latest in the series. It came out on Vita as well. I don't have the Vita version. I have the Switch, and I have it on PS4. See, and as you can see why there's not going to be any footage for any of these PS4 games, because YouTube. Next one is a fighting game, and that is, I think that's how much I got it for. I think, might have been less, but I did buy this pre-owned, and I think I got it at my local game store, which is called Cybertron. Blade Arceus from Shining EX. I tried to get this for the Switch, but for some reason the price for the Switch went up, and then it went out of stock, and then I wasn't able to get it, and I found it pre-owned on the PS4. It is a fighting game in the world of Shining Force. So, well, this Shining world, and I shouldn't necessarily say Shining Force, but I really wanted to pick this up. Finally got my hands on a copy of it, and the only thing is none of the menus, majority of it's in Japanese, so I don't understand what's going on, but I wish or they would come out. I'm not even sure. If you know, drop it in the comments below if they came out with an English version of this one, whether it's Euro or just digital. I haven't seen it, but physical, that's my last PS4 Japanese game. Next, we are going to go with, I only have one Vita game, so we're going to do that, and that's Everybody's Golf 6. It's Hot Shots Golf. That's what it was. It's Hot Shots Golf, but Japanese. Over there it was called Everybody's Golf. That's why the PS4 version over here, they decided to change the name and just keep the same across all regions and call it Everybody's Golf. Now we're going to go to my PSP games, and that will be, I guess that will be the end of it. So another game in the PlayStation Best happens to be another Gundam game. A lot of these games I haven't played. I found them here and there. I don't remember getting this one. This is a Gundam Arena style, Next Plus. At least that's what it looks like. Yeah. That's it. So, like I said, I've never played that one. I don't even remember picking it up, to be honest. Next one is Ape Escape for the PSP. So I think this was brought over to the States called Ape Escape Portable. I think that's the one it was. But it's Ape Escape, but for PSP. That's what this one is. I think I might have bought both of those at the same time. I don't quite remember. Now, this one was a really cool one. I was glad to get this one, and that is Power Stone for the PSP. These are hard to come by, but it is Japanese, so it cost me a little less. But it was the only way I've been able to find Power Stone at an affordable price. I wish I had the Dreamcast version, but I don't. This is Power Stone and Power Stone 2. So this is pretty much the collection. Power Stone Portable. And this is fantastic. It still played very well. I'm so glad to have this one in my collection. Next, how about I just show them all to you at the same time? It's the last three. They all go together. Phantasy Star Portable, Phantasy Star Portable 2, Phantasy Star Portable 2 Infinity. I'm a fan of the series. I really like Phantasy Star. I really love Phantasy Star Online. I like the Phantasy Star Universe games. This was set in the Phantasy Star Universe world. If I am not mistaken, I have Phantasy Star Portable for the PSP in the US region. So I do have that one, and it plays a lot like Phantasy Star Universe. So I picked up all these at the same time from, I think this was from MegaCon a couple years ago. So yeah, I wish I had the cable. After I moved, I don't know where my cable was that I bought in order to capture PSP footage. I don't know what happened to it. I don't know where it is. It got lost in the move. Maybe it got buried or mixed up with some other cables, but I have not been able to find it since I moved, and I haven't been able to find a replacement cable that hasn't been stupidly expensive. For some reason, they went up in price, and I haven't bought one. So I'll see what I can do about footage, but hopefully you guys enjoyed taking a look at this video. These are all my Japanese import PlayStation games. Do you guys have any imports? If you guys, well, majority of my viewers are US. For those of you who are not, do you import games? Do you like to see games that come from outside of your region and, you know, just see the differences in their games compared to yours, or like I say, ours? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. A little different than my normal collection videos, but maybe if you guys like this, if I get enough views, get enough likes, I'll do the Nintendo version of this, which, come to think of it, I have a lot more. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell so you can get the notifications. That really help us out. Head on over to our socials. Follow us on Instagram at Red Bandana Gaming, on Twitter at RBG_retro. Thank you guys so much. Like we always say, be legendary. Thanks again.